It's Movie Time is produced by John DeSando. Listen to the full shows and read reviews online at WCBE.org.
I'm John DeSando.
And I'm Kevin Carr.
And this is It's Movie Time. And boy, this is awards season time.
It is.
And you know, there's one that's lingering back there I think we need to look at. It's called If Beale Street Could Talk.
Which has nothing to do with Beale Street, as I understand.
but there is something in there.
There is. It has a meaning to it.
It has a meaning, yeah. But anyway, this little film won Best Supporting Actress for Regina King, who played the mom.
Yeah.
And had 2 nominations at the Globes. This is the Golden Globes.
Yeah.
One for Best Screenplay and one for Best Drama.
Yeah.
So, Kevin, talk to me.
Yeah, well, I hear it also won an award from the Columbus, Ohio Film Critics Association.
Well, no, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, they made it the best film of the year.
Yes.
Now, they're a quirky group.
They are.
You'll have to admit.
Bunch of weirdos in that group.
And they're often picking a kind of off-center choice. But still, it means that there are about 4 reasons why you and I ought to talk about it.
Well, yeah, absolutely. It's hitting all the big lists. It's getting nominated for a lot of things. It's directed by Barry Jenkins, who did Moonlight.
Boy, yes. Good.
And it's his follow-up film based on the James Baldwin book.
Baldwin's, again, another part of that provenance that's really, makes you look at it.
Yeah. It's I'll tell you, the thing with it, well, the basic story is it's a love story between this couple living in Harlem in the 1970s.
That's correct.
And she's pregnant, and he has to go to jail for a crime he didn't commit.
Right, or alleged he didn't commit. It seems he didn't, but there's no real proof.
It's pretty clear that he did not commit this. That's the. But it's not about the social justice system. It's not about the criminal justice system. It's that love story. It's their story of getting through that. So, in a world that we have today, where there's so much a focus on racial inequality in the criminal justice system, and yes, this does take place in the 70s, it is about their relationship.
Yes, it is. And being tested to the limit.
Absolutely.
She is pregnant. They are not yet married. And he is off to jail.
Yep.
And she is intrepid. She is going to fight to get him out of jail.
Yep.
And in fact, the promises both from her and her mom, who takes a trip to Puerto Rico, very dangerous trip, to try to get the lady who had accused her son-in-law to recant.
Yes.
And that doesn't work out. I mean, this is Kevin. This is a tough.
It's a heavy story.
Yeah.
Which you'd expect from the director of Moonlight.
Yes, you would. Yeah. I'll tell you, as beautiful as it is, and one of his problems is, for me, it's almost too beautiful. That is, notwithstanding the difficulty of his going to jail, which is catastrophic for anybody.
Sure.
The 2 of these people are not only too beautiful looking.
Yeah.
Their romance is so.
It's pristine. It's perfect. It really is.
Kevin, it seems unreal to me.
Well, the thing about this movie, there's 2 things that and I separate myself. I don't consider it the best film of the year.
No.
Even though I was in a group that did present that. Part of it is it feels very much like the follow-up film for somebody who made a movie like Moonlight, where Moonlight was this little movie, low-budget film, came out of nowhere, no one expected to win anything. And it suddenly becomes this phenomenon, and it feels like that follow-up film where they give him a really good cinematographer, and they give him a really good, real good studio support behind it. As opposed to where Moonlight really felt like it was cobbled together with passion and bubblegum and Scotch tape, because that's how independent films are made. So this one just looks so gorgeous and has such a great cast, and it's so perfectly done. Not to say it's too perfectly done, but it feels exactly like where that would go, and there's a certain amount of rustic charm that Moonlight had that this doesn't.
Well, I think you're absolutely right. There was something to be discovered in Moonlight.
Yeah.
There was constant and
surprising too.
Yes.
That was, if there was any movie that year, Moonlight surprised the heck out of me.
Look, if Beale Street Could Talk is a beautiful film, and I think we're both agreeing that there's something a little bit unnerving about how beautiful it is. I guess, for me, and that's where I get my reservation now. Then also I look at the bad guy cop.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
what
yeah.
come on, that's a one-dimensional character if I ever saw it.
Well, and it was very hard for me to frame that because I mean the book's written in the '70s by James Baldwin, so it would have been less of a cliche back then, but it feels very almost it's too easy because there's a scene where they talk about it and then they cut to a shot of the cop who. Even though it's not proven, we know this guy just like made him up because he was picking on him for a past event, and he's exactly what you'd look like for which you cast a gritball racist cop who's going to frame somebody for
a white cop
Yeah.
who was out to get a black kid
Yeah.
whom he has seen before on the street, and so he could have a grudge against him, even just a racial misunderstanding, whatever it is. The way Jenkins lets him present himself is if he is a totally bad guy.
And there's like two scenes. That's the thing that I think, that's such a hard thing for Jenkins to do there because that's not what the story's about. The story's not about a racist cop.
No, right.
Fingering this guy for this crime. It's such a side element to this overall love story, right. And so it does feel kind of cheap. But then again, like I said, it was written in the '70s when James Baldwin we were in a very different place, and that was something that just didn't feel like it had been done on every sitcom by this point. And so I think that's the struggle you have adapting a piece that's this old initially.
Well, I'll tell you, you can't leave this film without having a sincere, caring, loving relationship with Tish and Fonnie.
Yeah.
Tish, played by Kiki Lane,
Yeah.
is just a beautiful, new to me, actress.
Mostly, with the exception of Regina King, a lot of the people in this film, you've maybe have seen them, but they're not A-listers. They're not people you'd recognize necessarily.
And it reminds me of what really good acting is. I believed, Kevin, these two actors were in love.
Yeah.
I mean, they have such a caring, loving relationship. She is so devoted to him. He is such a good guy that I leave there thinking, clearly this is not Romeo and Juliet, but this is a love affair to be remembered. And I think your implications are what I also have as I think about it, is that underneath this are some very serious social problems.
Yeah.
But the focus that Jenkins takes really is on the loving relationship between the two.
Yeah, everything else is sort of peripheral.
Which, of course, would crush anybody, everything else.
Yeah.
So anyway, Kevin Carr,
Yes.
if Beale Street could talk, what grade would it give itself?
I think that Beale Street would get a solid B.
All right, very good. And I'm going to award it a B+, just so that people know we don't collude. But anyway, it at least is one that many of our listeners perhaps have not seen and are looking for something now, besides A Star is Born and Bohemian Rhapsody. They're looking for something to go to that they haven't seen.
They're looking for an actual drama
Right.
in the drama category.
So let's encourage them to go.
Yes.